told you before, I don't know anything about love. I don't. I can describe to you like beginnings of flirtations and intellectual banterings and lots of misconnections and, you know, some horror stories where the cops come and take people to jail. But I don't really know anything about. I don't even like saying the word, really. It makes me nauseous.
So have you ever been in love?
I don't know. Maybe. No.
You don't know if you have been or not?
No. I feel like if there's the possibility around me, then I'll do whatever I can to make sure that that goes away. I like the idea of love. I'm in love with the idea of being in love. I think I'm very romantic in that way, where I can really get into like the thought of how it should go and my part in it and how loving I can be and how creative and resourceful and clever and inspirational and imaginative that I could be. But it's all in my head.
Why do you feel like you're so bad at relationships? You've said it to me so many times.
Why?
Well, why do you say it? Why do you tell people?
Because I'm the common denominator of 40 failed relationships.
What makes you keep persisting?
I'm not.
Well, I mean, you've been in relationships far more than you haven't been in relationships, right?
Yes. Why do I keep doing it?
Yeah. Or do you think? Why do you think you haven't
for
said?
the lessons, for hoping that I can learn one more thing that'll help me eventually when it'll help, like for puzzle pieces that'll help put it all together. You know? I mean, there's a voice in my head that's like, this isn't going to work for these reasons. You know, these reasons, it is not going to work. And then there's another voice that says, come on, snap out of it. Just go with it. Stop being critical. Stop judging it. Stop comparing it. Stop having so many expectations. And then we'll see how far I can get. Because no one can ever be open enough, and no one can ever be loving enough, and no one could ever be smart enough, or creative enough, or inspirational. You know, no, it's always versus this idea I have in my head, you know? And then slowly I've learned over the years to not be so to really like who I am so I can accept other people. You know, because that was a huge issue for the first 10 years that I was dating. It was just that I didn't really know who I was, and so I was just sort of like, well, I don't really know anything. I don't know what I'm looking for, and you tell me, and let's do what you want to do. But I think as I've gotten to know myself and really like myself, I'm not punishing people that like me anymore. I'm not punishing people that tell me that I'm smart or beautiful or talented because I don't believe it. It's different. It's changed now. It's nonsense. Like my head, like I can't even begin to describe it. It's so much more complicated than all of this. It really is nonsense. I mean, I know that you can fall in love with anyone. I know that's true. I know love is a state of mind. Love is, I could walk out this door and crash my car into a guy on Glendale Boulevard and fall in love with him. I know that that's true. And the reason that we don't fall in love every day, every minute, is because we are afraid and we're safe, I don't know. Oh, I'm bored. I'm so bored.
You're boring yourself?
Yeah, I'm boring myself. It's so boring, like, to listen to my nonsense. And the thought of even actually having to watch my nonsense. I'm gonna sign a release somewhere that says that I don't ever have to be an audience to this.
It might not be boring to other people.
It is boring. Yeah, it's really boring. Because it's so obvious that I'm just scared.
So it's about fear, it's about trust. Yeah. But that's everybody. I mean, don't we all have that fear? I mean, not everybody does.
I don't know. I mean, sure, everybody's scared, but they make it work, Their desire to succeed is greater than their fear, their desire to start there. I don't think I am afraid of a lot, but that's one area, of course, where I don't have any power. Because I don't understand it. Until I can let go of that, I'm going to keep doing the same thing over and over. I'm going to keep sabotaging anything good. Any person that comes around that could, there's any possibility. I'm just going to repeat old cycles.
How much do you give of yourself to somebody that you're in a relationship with?
I feel like I give a lot. I feel like I give too much. there's always a point where I feel like I've gone way too far. Like I'm always like, I did it again. I fucking did it again. I just like came out like, blah. Here it is, it's all here. It's like a self-defense mechanism. Like I don't want someone to slowly get to know me and slowly realize that I'm not who they're looking for. So I just fucking throw it all down fast. And so it's like, oh shit, it's overwhelming. Of course it scares people away. But then I'm like, oh good, they're gone. That would have happened eventually anyway. People that were interested get freaked out because here's a person that wants to tell you right off the bat, like every secret hope and dream and fear and every inadequacy and every bad habit and every annoying little idiosyncrasy, and like right away someone's just gonna show you the very worst of themselves, along with a little bit of good that you were sort of attracted by in the first place. And it's like, wow, I just kind of would have rather that be a little more gradual, not all at once where it just seems like I'm a basket case. Like I'm a total wreck. Like I'm emotionally weighted down by 17 items of carry-on luggage, but that's my fear, is that people that I'll spend some time, because the alternative is spending time with the person and really letting them slowly get to know you, blah blah blah, and then things just sort of come out naturally, and and then there's a point one day when they're like, the sum of all these parts isn't what I want. And then there I am, like a year and a half later, living with a person, and they're taking the couch.
What are you thinking about?
The other night I went to my writing class, and the group leader is my ex-boyfriend's mom. And I said, I'm sorry I couldn't bring a printout. My printer wasn't working. And she said, oh, just run upstairs in the office and print it out on our computer. So I went upstairs, and the screensaver on the computer was this huge picture. They've got one of those huge, flat screen monitors. The screensaver picture was a picture of my ex and his new girlfriend, at some gala event, and he was wearing a suit, and she was wearing this naughty little cocktail dress, and he was holding her, and it was on a balcony, and you could see the whole city behind them, and I was just like, and I just was sort of paralyzed for 20 seconds while I just really looked at my ex and his new girlfriend staring at me in love, in this dress has been haunting me. So right when you asked me that, I was thinking about that dress. It was blue and green and yellow, and it looked like the sea. It looked like the Little Mermaid dress. It had beads and sequins and
You miss that relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was my best friend.
And now?
Now we talk, every few days. And we kid around and we joke and he tells me about his career and I tell him what's happening. But we don't talk about our lives, Like I wanted to tell him that I saw the picture. I saw the dress. I saw Vegas, wherever they were, And I couldn't.
How come?
I didn't know how the words were gonna come out. I couldn't trust that I could say it in the way I wanted to. There are a lot of threats to your well-being.